Welcome back. CBS Sports, Eye on College Basketball Podcast, where we sometimes discuss camel fighting, dodo birds, and leaky black. Matt Norlander is here with me. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button like you're Brandon Davies. And if you're one of us, let the world know in the chat and in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed to the Eye on College Basketball Podcast, please make sure you do that anywhere you subscribe to podcasts. Let's get into it. I want to start, I think, with the reigning national champions, the Florida Gators, who bounced back from their season opening loss to Arizona with a 104-64 win over North Florida last night down in what I will always call the O-Dome. As is typically the case when whole Florida takes on like parts of Florida, whole Florida had no issues with North Florida. So the Gators are now 1-1. Norlander, it's good to see you on this Friday. Does what whole Florida did to North Florida last night make you care less about what Koa Pete did to whole Florida earlier in the week? Or are you more in the camp of GP, North Florida is never going to be a real opponent, a quality opponent for a school like whole Florida, and they're also ranked 344th at KenPom. So wake me up when they play somebody of better caliber. Where do you land on all this stuff?
Folks, welcome to a slow Wednesday, Thursday in the opening week of college basketball. 344 at KenPom is North Florida, which lost its head coach, Matthew Driscoll, who is now an assistant at Kansas State. The Gators got a cool, simple, easy 104-64 40-point drubbing win. But we need an A block, and then we gotta pay some bills, and then we need a B block, then we gotta pay some bills, and then we're gonna preview the weekend here. But we might as well just briefly touch on Florida, because the past two nights have, for the most part, been high major teams playing bad games, getting right. The Bethune-Cookman team that took Auburn to overtime got drubbed by Miami by 40 last night. So, you have seen this across the landscape over the past couple of nights. At least Alex Condon played well. I mean, there's really, takeaways wise, not much here. Florida's the reigning national champion. They play Arizona to a tight game. They lose. Koa Pete goes off. He's the best player in the sport through the first 4 days of the season. How does Florida respond by returning back home? Can they just wipe the floor clean with an opponent? They did. It wasn't even close. Condon had himself a really nice night. And here is what Todd Golden said afterward on Thursday. Quote, "I thought it was great coming back from Vegas. We took Tuesday off, practiced yesterday, and he just had a great mentality. He wasn't feeling sorry for himself or making excuses. He was just like, I'm going to get back to it and get back to what I know. And I thought he did a great job kind of letting the game come to him, being aggressive when he needed to, and had a very efficient night. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists with 1 turnover, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Just an insane All-American level type night." So he was disappointed. We were all disappointed with how Monday went, but I thought he answered the bell right away, end quote. That is Todd Golden on Alex Condon. GP, your quick takeaways on the Gator boys.
I just wonder if this Alex Condon slander that I consistently see in our Slack channel is going to calm down a little bit now. I've picked up on it throughout the offseason and the preseason. Alex Condon been taking a beating in the CBS Sports College Basketball Slack channel, and I would like for you to explain to me why.
He's not a first-team All-American. He was voted that. He might not be the team's best player, but if you want to stand up for Alex Condon right now and call him a top 5 player in America, the floor is yours, GP.
I do not want to call Alex Condon a top 5 player in America. I want to be clear about that. But what I do want to call him is somebody who averaged 10.6 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists for a team that won the national championship last season. He started 35 times. He's the leading returning scorer from that team. Had 25, 10, 4, 3, and 2 last night in 26 minutes, and still takes a beating in the CBS Sports College Basketball Slack channel weekly. And I just wonder
at what point the game ended, to be clear.
At what point did we stop respecting champions? I always thought we respect the champions, but clearly we've lost our way.
All right, so you're saying Alex Condon, top 5 player in America. Heard it first here on GP.
What I am trying to say is that I agree with the sentiment that Alex Condon probably didn't deserve to be an AP preseason first-team All-American. It felt very Alex Carabani to me. All right?
Yeah. Alex Carabani or Carabanish? What's the word?
I think it's Carabani.
All right, Carabani. Let's go.
It could be a little. It felt a little Carabanish to me. I think it's Carabani. It felt a little Carabani to me, if you know what I'm saying. He did not appear on my first-team All-America preseason ballot. And if you want to argue he's not the best player on his team and or even the best front court player on his team, I will listen to that. But by the time you're through explaining all that, I think you should have to say, on the other hand, though, He is the leading returning scorer for a national championship program. Somebody who averaged double digits and started 35 times last season for a team that concluded things on a 12-game winning streak, resulting in both an SEC tournament championship and an NCAA tournament championship. When I was younger around here, we respect the champions a little bit more than I've seen it going on lately. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with Matt Painter defending Fletcher Lawyer? I thought we were starting the show with that video. What's
Josh,
going on
if you
here?
got that, let's just go ahead and go to it now. Matt
you have
Painter defending Fletcher Lawyer against the Fletcher Lawyer haters.
I think you're aware of the pulse of your fan base where people love Fletcher Lawyer or they want to replace him. It seems like that's kind of been
Well, the people that want to replace him aren't very smart.
that's what I was going to ask.
So let's don't hang out with them.
Actually had the video.
I know. Hey. Day 2 better than day 1, right? I cued it, and he was ready, buddy.
Let's not get too aggressive here. You're in a hotel right now. The signal might not be the strongest. We did not go live at 9:45 a.m. sharp, so maybe I'm not ready. Let's get through the show first.
Let's get through the show first, but I did want people to finally see that Matt Painter clip. I would, up to me, I would have loved to have shown it to you on Wednesday, but I forgot to send it because my wife let her car go dead overnight.
Correct. Yeah,
it's true.
As we made clear on the show, it was not Josh's fault.
No.
Certainly wasn't your fault.
No,
the blame lies entirely with your wife.
That's right. And on behalf of her, I accept responsibility on her behalf. I accept responsibility on behalf of my wife. In all seriousness, as I knew the other day live that I was like, oh God, he doesn't have it. Did I not send it? What happened? Because I know I sent it, and I'm scrolling through and I can't find the group text that says Josh and Matt, right? And I'm like, where is this? Because it should be right here at the top on my computer. And then we do the show and we laugh about it and move on. And then later on in the day, you guys text me from that. So it pops right back up. And when I go to respond, there's the Matt Painter video. It was in there locked and loaded. It was like I put it in the whatever you do with guns when you load them, but then you don't actually pull the trigger. That's the equivalent of what I did with that video on Wednesday. Anyway, shouts to Fletcher Lawyer, shouts to Alex Condon. They've been getting a little too much hate, best I can tell, and that's a good way to tie both of those things together.
I suppose so. That's about the most notable stuff from the past 2 days. Loyola Chicago did get beat at home by Mercyhurst.
Yeah,
which
Sister Jean's not going to be able to bail you out every game. All right. She did.
First of all, what's going on? We go from buzzer-beating win to home loss to Mercyhurst, which is a school, but also sounds like a band that had a mid-afternoon billing at Lollapalooza 25 years ago. What is going on with Loyola Chicago?
Lollapalooza, are you having a good time? Yeah. Well, then welcome to the stage, Mercyhurst.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly how that would go.
Yes, exactly. Feels like
Sister Jean's up there like, all right, guys, I'll handle the opener. All right? I'll handle the opener.
Correct.
But you guys, at some point, you got to – I can't spend all my time in heaven trying to bail you guys out of bad basketball situations. I'll handle the opener. But at some point, it's a little bit like lead a horse to water type of thing, right? You got to drink. At some point, I got to teach you how to fish. I think that's in the Bible, actually. I think that part's in the Bible. At some point, I can't keep giving you fish. I got to teach you how to fish. But they didn't.
I think that's the passage. You've heard the phrase, it's in God's hands. It's literally not with Loyola Chicago anymore. It's in Drew Valentine's hands. It's no longer.
Hey,
everybody gets one and you're done.
I respect Drew Valentine. You know that. But can we acknowledge it's tough going from God's hands to Drew Valentine?
It is.
That's tough. That'd be tough for
very
anybody.
Difficult transition. That is not in the Bible, by the way.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
But I'll be honest. When's the last time you were in your scripture?
It's been a minute. When's the last time?
So you don't know.
When's the last time you were in your scripture? You haven't even been in the scripture.
I get in the scripture sometimes when I want to send funny text to Brent Stover. I get in the scripture and I send him I send him stuff.
Okay.
I get in the scripture sometimes. You ain't been in the scripture in a minute, and it shows.
Sure. I think it might be time for the B block. We're 10 minutes in. You want to send it? No, to your point, and then we'll get to the B block because I feel like I got to say something important before we can move on. I don't, but go ahead.
I don't have anything important, but to your point about the past 2 days, because we had some couple of interesting things on Monday, an interesting thing on Tuesday, Wednesday nothing, Thursday nothing. On Wednesday and Thursday, only 4 teams in the top 25-1 played a game. None of them played each other, and it was without exception high major ranked team against mid major or low major whatever team, and the average margin of victory in those games was 38.5. So not only did we not have anything interesting on paper, we didn't even have anything interesting developed once the game started. It is something I point out every year and will forever. We have too much of this junk. There's too many games in November and December played between teams that shouldn't even be playing each other. Like you don't get this in the NBA. Like the worst team and the best team are not going to be separated by 30 points. I mean, it can happen, but that won't be the point spread. There are too many lopsided matchups in college basketball, and that's all we've had on Wednesday and Thursday. But Friday gets a little better. We'll get to that in the final 4 and 1. But when we come back, do want to turn our attention to a significant headline from the past couple of days. Tyran Stokes, who is the #1 prospect in the class of 2026, has reportedly withdrawn from his high school. It's just the latest little unusual twist in his path to college basketball / professional basketball. We'll run you through what has been reported. We'll do it next. But first, let's get a word from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
Tyran Stokes is the consensus #1 prospect in the class of 2026, and he has withdrawn from his high school reportedly. Like I mentioned going into the break, it's just the latest, let's call it unusual thing connected to his path to the next level of basketball. We've seen this young man for a few years now, Norlander, on the grassroots circuit down at Peach Jam, and he's undeniably gifted, talented, skilled, all of that stuff. The whole world's at his fingertips on some level, but it does seem to just be one unusual thing after another connected to him. And I guess I'd say I bet you it'd be nicer if everything could just somehow, some way calm down a little bit, because there's always a lot of stuff going on.
Right. So Tyran Stokes was going to Notre Dame High School. Actually wanted to play, like, he has a future in basketball, a projected potential top pick in the NBA draft a couple of years from now. Physically, like, super developed. He's ready now from a physical standpoint. And there were moments the past couple of years, particularly 2 summers ago, when he was performing at a level alongside AJ DeBansa and Cooper Flagg. Like, he was a year behind in terms of what class he was in, but he was all on the level. He's the #1 prospect in the class and a down class. And from a talent standpoint, it doesn't seem like he has real legitimate competition there. But he wanted to play. He had played football when he was younger. He wanted to play football one more time. He had been doing that, but reportedly, just there's been some altercations with some students. Who knows? He's withdrawn. He's gone. You don't typically have the #1 player, a top 5 player, a top 10 player in a given class withdraw from his high school in November of his senior year. That's right. Obviously a highly unusual thing. And so because of that, it's going to make headlines. Coincidentally enough, in the past, I want to say week, it might be a week and a half at this point, he has released his final 3 schools. It is Kansas, Kentucky, and Arizona. Stokes has a multi-year NIL deal that's been publicly reported. That's with Nike. I don't know if that affects Kansas's chances or not. Obviously, Kentucky and Oregon are Nike schools. 247 Sports project him to be going to Kentucky. I know that. Our experts there think that that's the way that this is ultimately going to go. He hasn't made his decision yet, hasn't made it public. We'll see. And apparently, the expectation is that he will pick a new high school to attend and play his senior year by the end of next week. Where that is to be determined, I guess. We don't know. But it is, you have some negative headlines associated with the #1 prospect in the class of 26. And we wait and see on, I guess, how this story continues. It's not what you want to see out of Stokes, who's a super, super talented player and will be among the most tracked players heading into next season in college basketball. But yeah, we're just normally not talking about a headline like this in the context of this podcast, but we also aren't normally talking about a player that is withdrawing from a high school, less than 9 months before he's due to graduate.
Yeah, I see in the chat somebody's like, withdrawing from high school. Like, what does that even mean? Like, yeah, when I was a kid, and if you weren't a basketball player, that was just called dropping out. It'd just be called dropping out of high school. But like, in all seriousness, he presumably will land at another high school and one way or another be eligible to play college basketball. He had reportedly cut his list to, I think it was Oregon, Kansas, and Kentucky. 24/7 Sports has him headed to Lexington. I'll trust those guys. But just a super talented prospect that if we start doing the bullet points connected to him, you just got a few too many that you'd prefer some of this stuff not be there. Withdrawing from high school in November after reported altercations with classmates. Decided just to up and play football in the middle of his last year of high school. Like on some level, it's sweet. Like I read the quotes. Yeah. I just wanted to be a kid. On some level, it's sweet. It is also odd. It is also odd. And so there's just a lot of odd stuff. And you just hope that the young man finds a little smoother path from this point forward to wherever he's headed, because things have been bumpy for a variety of reasons. Let's move on. Before we get out of here, obviously it's the first weekend of the college basketball season, and that means it's time to launch another edition of the Final 4-1, where I'm coming off of a triumphant victory last season to extend, I believe, what is my winning streak to 7 straight years. I think I've won 7 straight years.
This is remotely true. What are you talking about?
I think I've won like 7 straight years.
That was the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
No.
How do you remember it in your head?
Well, I think you did beat me last season, but there's no evidence in the Google Doc right now, so I don't know. We got a new producer.
Text Nada. Text Nada right now.
I will not be texting Nada asking him the record from last season.
Hey, Nada, I know you're busy with your daughter and you have nothing to do with this anymore, but could you check the Final 4-1 numbers from last season? GP's bragging again.
By the way, you started that with before we get out of here, which is GP's typical segue when we have like one more thing with like 3 minutes to go. Folks, strap in. We got at least 25 minutes talking about this weekend here. Before we get out of here, we barely started.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have cues on my computer screen.
We all know that. Yes.
And when my eyes latched onto my cue, the first word was before, and I realized very quickly I have latched onto the wrong word, and then I was just trying to get out of it.
You're too tied into your scripture, GP. That's the problem. You're too devoted to your own scripture.
You have not been in your scripture lately, and it shows.
I have not.
And it shows. Got that facial hair, that devil hair on your face.
Is that what this is? This is
yes. I think facial hair.
Devil's follicles.
I think that's devil hair. I think that's in the Old Testament. Devil hair.
Let's take a break. Okay. And after the break, we've got the grand return.
Yes.
Of the Final 4-1. Parrish made an egregious, by the way, overnight change. You're going to find out what that game is. I know why he did it, but there's a very high profile game that has been sacrificed and taken off. Speaking of scripture, and sacrificial lambs. How dare you? You'll find out after the break. First, here's a word from our partners.
You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. So even if you can't count on accurate expiration dates,
that is a rookie mistake.
Or people appreciating your fashion sense.
Jim, the crowd is not on board here.
You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
Glad we wear our good jerseys.
Yeah. Watch this. Before we dive into the games we're going to be picking in the Final 4-1, you see what I was doing? Let me remind you that we do have a doubleheader tonight on CBS Sports Network. 6 o'clock, Tulsa, Rhode Island. 8:30 Eastern, Yale Navy. It's the Veterans Classic here in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm in Annapolis, Maryland, if I haven't told you already. Ready for the Veterans Classic tonight. John Sadak, Steve Lappas is going to be on the call, and I will be on the sideline. It gets started 6 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Hey, checking into the hotel last night.
Yep.
Checked in the hotel. Guess I bumped into immediately Ed DeChellis, former Navy coach, Navy legend. You know what he said? He said, hey, living down in Charleston now. I said, is that what everybody does? Just make all your money in basketball and then move down to Charleston? Apparently so.
Okay.
Excited about the Veterans Classic. Tonight, as I try to win for the 8th consecutive year in the Final Four and 1, let's start it with Game 1 Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's number 19 Kansas at number 25 North Carolina. We're doing it inside the Kendall Marshall Center. You can watch it on ESPN. UNC -1. And a half.
So bad.
0.5.
Wait, what is the number?
0.5, 1.5. Kendall Marshall Center. I thought of Kendall Marshall. This is how he popped into my head.
Yeah.
Because there was that report announcement in recent weeks that we're going to have status reports in college basketball, right?
Well, we've had them. We're going to get more. And we're going to get them during the NCAA tournament. That was the thing. Yeah.
That's okay. So that was the thing. Because I can remember during the NCAA tournament, it was like for a handful of days, like the whole job was trying to figure out if Kendall Marshall is going to play or not in the NCAA
tournament. Yeah,
that
was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah, you're like direct messaging Kendall Marshall and text messaging Kendall Marshall. And when I saw that report, I was like, won't have to do that ever again. They're just going to tell us from now on. I appreciate it. Shouts to Kendall Marshall. It's North Carolina -1.5 at home over your Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, this is a fantastic matchup. Back end of a home and home series here. These are the teams that are 2-3 on the all-time wins list, people. Kentucky, if you're curious, is number 1. It has a 7-win lead on Kansas for the most wins. But they combined, Carolina and Kansas, combined for 4,810 victories, 106 NCAA tournament bids, 36 Final Fours, and 10 national titles. That's just Carolina and Kansas. Good stuff. These teams obviously met in the 2022 national title game. Kansas came back from a 15-point halftime deficit. That's the biggest halftime deficit ever overcome in an NCAA championship for a winner. Kansas leads the all-time series 7-6 with Carolina, so only 13 meetings. And if you can believe it, this is the first time they have ever played in Chapel Hill. It'll go down for the first time ever tonight. I'm really excited for this. Kansas, by the way, is 16-1, folks. Kansas is 16-1 against the ACC since 2012. 4 of those 16 wins have come against the Tar Heels. Matchup-wise in this game, how does Seth Trimble match up with Darren Peterson? Seth Trimble, veteran player, physical, athletic.
I
going
can
against
answer
Peterson.
that.
Okay, go ahead.
Not well.
Okay, so over-under. No, not even over-under. If it's not well, how many points for Darren Peterson tonight?
Tonight will be the night folks in Chapel Hill look back on for decades. And they'll say, you remember that? Decades, perhaps centuries, but I don't know that we got centuries left. I'm not sure we have decades left. Tonight will be the night North Carolina fans look back on for days. And they'll say things like, remember, it was November 7th, 2025. And that was the night Darren Peterson came into the Dean Smith Center and dropped 31 points on North Carolina.
31.
In Kansas, his upset victory over UNC. They will call it, when we watch the documentary someday, they'll say that was the night Darren Peterson's stardom arrived. That's what we're doing tonight. We're watching Darren Peterson's star arrive. I mean, I'm going to be watching the Veterans Classic, but
yes, you will.
But you might be watching. You're probably going to have multiple screens.
I'm going to be going multiple screens up here in the office.
That's right.
That's for sure going to be happening.
Darren Peterson's stardom arrives. That happens tonight. It happens in Chapel Hill. 31
yes,
points.
I mean, generally, it's like this. That's a big thing on the table. Chat's ahead of me as well. If not Seth Trimble, will we see Caleb Wilson go head-to-head with Darren Peterson and try and shut him down? I think that's very much on the table, and it's going to be very awesome and interesting to see just how Peterson is schemed up against. And is this going to be a game where he needs to try and carry Kansas to a win? Floyd Badunga versus Henry Visar. That's a good big man matchup as well. Caleb Wilson's coming off a team-high 22 earlier in the week against Central Arkansas. Badunga, by the way, in his own right, had a nice game, 23 points against Green Bay, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks. Carolina, a much different kind of opponent. I want to see Wilson on a big stage here. Obviously, Peterson's gotten plenty more run. I know Carolina fans are very in, as I think they have a right to be, on the notion that Caleb Wilson will be one of the 5 best freshmen in the country this season. I think that's a scenario that's on the table, but it also speaks to the loaded freshman class that maybe he'll cozily find himself somewhere in the top 10, but not top 5. But you want to make a big statement. Can you get it done at home? Carolina has lost 9 of its last 10 games against ranked opponents. Keep that in mind. But they're in the midst of something they haven't done in a long time. Right now, Carolina is going to start its season with 5 consecutive home games. That hasn't happened. Shouts to our CBS Sports research team. Carolina has not started a season with 5 straight home games since 1918, 1919. That long, more than 100 years. One more player to keep an eye on. Luka Bogovac. He is 22 years old, from Montenegro, had 10 points, 5 assists, 2 steals off the bench. Really talented player. What kind of role does he play in this? And if he can step in and be an impactful guy, like, Peterson, a really good defender. Where's he going to be matched up on? Awesome game all around. I will lean into my preseason projection that Kansas is a top 10 team and Carolina is not. Carolina has it at home, but I will say Kansas wins straight up.
I also have Kansas winning straight up. It's a classic wrong team favored situation.
It's
a classic wrong team favored situation in Chapel Hill. Kansas wins straight up, and Darren Peterson finishes with exactly 31 points.
I'll say Peterson finishes with
24.
Wrong. If I ask you to say it, I'll say 24.
It's exactly
how many for Caleb Wilson? I'll say Caleb at
16.
I'll say 18 for Caleb and 24 for Peterson.
I got 16 and 31.
Okay.
16 and 31. Now let's see what Terry Rozier does with those player props. Game 2, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's UMass Lowell at number 4 UConn inside the Aiden Mahaney Arena. You can watch it on Peacock.
This is just wrong.
Peacock. UConn minus 33.5.
Yeah,
laying 33.5 to the King's alma mater. This close to the 50th anniversary of his demise. Absolutely not. That's wildly disrespectful. And put some respect on Aiden Mahaney's name. He did the best he could.
What?
He did the best he could.
We're trying to preview the first weekend of the season, the most tantalizing matchups, and you've got a 33.5 point dog in the final 4-1. For who? For what? For why?
For Aiden Mahaney, he did the best he could. All right.
Did he though?
I think he did. He did the best he could. And for Elvis Aaron Presley, it's UMass Lowell catching more than 4 touchdowns in Aiden Mahaney Arena this close to the 50th anniversary of the King's demise. Too many points. Give me UMass Lowell plus the 33.5.
There was I think it was the pep band for Merrimack's hockey team or something, soccer team.
Good.
They sent us something. Josh, you got that video? No, you don't, because we did not send it to you. Anyway, they sent a video to us, like, I want to say a month ago. And because Merrimack was Merrimack playing UMass Lowell in soccer? Or
somebody was playing UMass. Okay, here's what we know. Somebody was playing UMass Lowell in something. It was not basketball. And the band decided they were fired up because regardless of the competition, it is still a competition against Elvis Aaron Presley's alma mater. And so they had fun with that, and it made me smile. I appreciate it. I appreciate the young folks.
I'd like to have the video up so we can at least invoke a little bit UMass Lowell. We don't have the video. We'll get, Sunday's show.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do from now on. That's the new thing we're going to do. We're going to act like we should show you videos on one episode and then actually show it to you the following episode.
Because that won't annoy our audience whatsoever. This is a huge number.
Too big.
Where's Elvis's alma mater ranked at Ken Palm? 293, but it's 1-0. It just destroyed something called Riviere, which, okay, sounds like a sparkling water. 107.55. I guess I'll take the Huskies. Huskies did not cover against New Haven. We'll get to them in just a second, by the way. Only a 24-point win the other night at home. I'm sure Hurley's been furious over it. I'll say UConn covers here. They cover the 33.5. I know you're taking Presley's alma mater, though.
Yes, the Riverhawks. It's the Mississippi Riverhawks. The UMass Lowell Mississippi Riverhawks plus the 33.5. That's the official play. Game 3, Saturday, noon Eastern. It's number 15 Alabama at number 5 St. John's. We're doing this inside Zuby Ejiofor Arena.
No. What? He's on the team.
Huh? Yeah, but preseason Big East Player of the Year and the one guy who decided to stick it out with Rick.
Okay. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. I wanted to honor the one man who was loyal to Rick Pitino. That's Zuby Ejiofor. All right? You can watch it on FS1. It's St. John's minus 6.5.
The line's already out.
What do you feel more comfortable with? What makes you more uncomfortable? Giving the Kings alma mater 33.5 points or Nate Oates 6.5? Tough.
That's tough. By the way, though, this line is already out. Typically, when we do a Friday Final Four and 1 for Saturday games, we don't have the line, but they're out, huh?
I saw it. I saw that.
This isn't some like shady offshore liners.
I got that from Damon Jones.
Like, I got
Damon
mine
Jones sent that to me.
Okay.
Damon Jones told me it was 6.5. He texted me.
I got for my game. It's going to be on Friday. We'll get to that in a second for the N1. That's tonight, but I got it through FanDuel. So,
I got mine.
Josh is saying in the private chat said it is real line. He checked it. He's all over it. 6.5.
I feel like you're questioning me in the opening week of the season.
And opening week is not relevant to the situation. This has track meet potential. First to 85 GP. Let's go. Let's have a real offensive firepower game here. St. John's has the athletes to match Alabama. Front court edge, St. John's. Back court edge, theoretically should be Alabama, I would think. LeBaron Philon. Might see some Mosiah Sellers. Might see some Joseph Sannon guarding him. I do not expect Ian Jackson to be matched up on LeBaron Philon, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. In the front court, you've got Zuby probably switching off between Aiden Sherrill, Taylor Bowen for Alabama. Fun game. I almost feel like Bryce Hopkins is going to be X factor difference maker here. Interested to see his role in contributions in this one. 6.5. I hate it when we start off and we're not in agreement because we disagree on the Lowell UConn game. So we got some differences, but I think we're going to be the same here. 6.5 is just too many, I think. Although maybe I'm wrong. GP's got St. John's number 1, yes. Ride or die, down with the ship, the whole deal. If it's 6.5, give me Bama to cover.
First off, I'm ride or die with St. John's. I'm laying the 6.5.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror if I didn't lay the 6.5 here.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. All right. So I'm laying the 6.5. But did you see or hear or read the quotes from Rick's interview with Boomer and Gio yesterday morning?
Yes, he had some stuff to say about Zoran Mamdani. I saw that. Yes.
No, not that. That's not what I mean. you thought I brought this up to
That's
talk
what got aggregated.
So people are asking me, they're like, GP, you gonna ride the bus to the studio now for free? I said, I don't think. I'm probably just gonna keep walking to the studio. I did not bring this up to bring up Mamdani, for crying out loud.
Yes, you did. The agenda has been fulfilled.
He said two things that were interesting. He said lots of things that were interesting, but there are two things that I made note of. One, it was a little bit like, hey, I saw you guys get their Big East championship rings, and they looked like really excited, like they were genuinely fired up to get for a championship. And the implication was I didn't know they felt that way or cared that much, given that they're all now making millions of dollars, or lots of them are making millions of dollars. And Rick sort of acknowledged we did spend $10 million roughly on our roster. That's not the most in the country, but we spent a lot of money. And yes, I have some millionaires, but they still want to win. Competitors are competitors. And I with all due respect to everybody involved here, I just have never quite understood why people are skeptical that college players could still care if they have money in their checking account, even millions of dollars in their checking account, because our entire sports system is built on us watching multimillionaires compete at a high level. In the NBA, they're all rich. In the NFL, they're all rich. In the Major League Baseball, all is a big word, but you get the point. And they still compete like crazy. Like Shohei has a lot of money. He wanted to win the World Series. And so Rick just sort of hammered down on that point. My guys still want to win. They're competitors, even if they've got lots of money. Secondly, and I thought this was interesting, just given what has been going on with the Grizzlies and John Morant, but he said the one way he coaches differently than he used to, since at Kentucky, Louisville, he would call out players in front of their team in the locker room, in front of their teammates. And he says, you just can't do that anymore, or at least I don't do it anymore. He said, because players embarrass too easily. It's not because they're not tough, but I have noticed as I've continued to coach, if I call them out in front of their teammates, it can shut down a little bit. But if I pull them into an office and show them the exact same stuff and tell them the exact same things, it resonates a little better. What do you make of all that?
I think there's a lot of truth to what Rick is laying out there. I'm not in practices on a weekly basis, but I do get to dip into practices here and there. And just anecdotally, having been in practices, say the past 2-3 years versus 2010 to 2015, it does feel a little different. And yeah, the idea that, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a certain level of expectation given how much money a lot of these players are making. And the fact that, on a very basic level, like a lot of these players, even though they're young, they are professional. The general points Pitino was making there were definitely very interesting. Those did not get aggregated, though. That's not what came across my timeline. That's not what was shared. It was Pitino joking about Mamdani and everything's free in New York now. Yeah. In
the spirit of giving credit where credit is due, I read those. Adam Zagoria aggregated them and pushed them out there, and that's where I pulled the quotes. Game 4. Shouts to Zags. Game 4, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's number 14 Arkansas at number 22 Michigan State inside the Cleave Center. Shouts to Mateen. You can watch it on Fox. Michigan State -1.5. This should be a fun one.
It should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. And I've got a trivia time for you.
Okay, let's go.
This is only the third meeting ever between Arkansas and Michigan State. When was the most recent meeting, GP? And Arkansas, if you get it within 3 years on either side, I'll give you it'll count as correct. Got to be within 3 years, though.
Yeah, that's no problem. The last
time, the third meeting ever.
Yeah, I know. The last one, that's what you're asking me. When was the most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was obviously 1994 NCAA tournament.
Not in the tournament, but that's a right answer there. It was 1995.
Oh, wow.
November 8th. The number one movie in the country, Toy Story.
Yep.
You want to know what the number one song was?
In 1995?
Hold on. Well, there's two answers here. What do you think the number one song was in the country in November of 95?
You know what I hope it was? They come to snuff the rooster.
That was not on the top of the Billboard Top 100, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
It was Fantasy by Mariah Carey. Okay.
Yeah, that was good too.
However, as fate would have it, as the scripture once foretold,
okay,
the number one song on alternative rock radio the last time Arkansas and Michigan State played.
The world is a vampire sent to drain.
How about that? Now, if there's some newbies listening to the pod, you don't get this. This is very inside the show. But the fact that this was the song. That's incredible. Just incredible.
Sometimes I don't even know how this happens. I'll just be scrolling through my phone. Next thing you know, I'm watching a Billy Corgan interview. I have watched an unusual number of Billy Corgan interviews lately. What do you think's going on with me?
Don't make me answer that. I don't know. Despite all your rage,
just around the cage.
Crazy stuff there. Really. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, how many times have these schools played? I was like, it's got to be 5 or 6. No, it's only 2. Okay, 95. What was the number one song on alternative rock radio? Amazing stuff. Love it. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, let's pick the game here. I believe this is a home and home year one. Michigan State gets the game at home. I think it's fair to say Arkansas on the whole is more talented. It's viewed as the more talented team.
Yeah.
You got Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff that are going to be stepping up in this spot. A big spot here. Cohen Carr ready for I wouldn't say breakout year because he's been a really good player overall, GP, but maybe he's going to potentially ascend even more than the preseason accolades that he was or wasn't receiving overall. Sparty on its home floor. What was the line? What did you say the line?
1.5. Spartans favored inside the Mateen-Cleave Center.
I will say, give me. I could come to regret this. Arkansas fans think I hate their school. I obviously
think I hate their school too.
I will take the Hogs. I'm going to call the Hogs on this one on the road. I will take Arkansas to go in. Malik Thomas to have a tremendous game. DJ Wagner to show up and a competitive one. Like I think that. I'll guess this is the best game of the weekend, start to finish. The most enjoyable 40-minute watch. That's my guess, and I'll take Calipari to get it done.
I had one Arkansas fan in the top 25 and one tell me they have never followed me on Twitter, and this is exactly why they would never follow me on Twitter, because there's no way in the world, no way that there are 19 better teams in the country than Arkansas. All right.
That same person has found me, I think.
I am embarrassing myself every day.
Well, that's got nothing to do with Arkansas.
I know. It's totally different reasons. It's totally different stuff. But yeah, Arkansas fans think I hate their team as well. I don't. I think this really just comes down to, are you a building truster or not?
Oh, yes. The old building truster.
Are you a building truster or not? You answer that question. Are you a building truster?
No, we've gone over this. No, I actually, it's more about the human beings involved in the competition than the inanimate objects that house these sporting competitions. I've always maintained that, and I always will.
Amateur analysis.
Yeah.
Amateur analysis. No. There are certain buildings that can be trusted. All right. The Dean Smith Center, typically, yes, but not with Darren Peterson. You got to take everything into account. You can trust the Dean Smith Center in most situations, but not on a Friday night when Darren Peterson's lurking. Okay. All right.
No, that's you're changing the rules. I won't allow it. You either trust the building or you don't. That's period. It's either you trust it or you don't trust it.
No, buildings.
Yes.
Buildings are just like humans. Buildings are just like humans.
They're actually very much not.
No,
they're not.
No.
They don't eat. They don't breathe. They don't have a consciousness. They don't have legs. They don't have arms. They don't have blood. Buildings are not like humans whatsoever, Parrish.
I've seen
you get on this road and suddenly you're like a kid lost in the forest.
No.
You don't know where you are.
Okay. In spite of all that technically correct stuff you pointed out, buildings are a lot like humans in this way. You can trust a building. You can trust a building just like you can trust a human. But sometimes humans put themselves in bad situations. I'm just going to go down to the hotel bar and have a drink, right? Like, just stay in your room. Every once in a while, humans put themselves in bad situations, and that's when bad stuff happens. Buildings also can put themselves in bad situations. A normal Friday night for the Dean Smith Center, I trust it.
Someone in the chat goes, buildings aren't humans. Why do they have names? Fair enough. Well,
See?
Well played. See? Well played, Papa Dragon 568.
See? Now, on a normal Friday night, Dean Smith Center says, hey, GP, I'm going out tonight. I'm like, go have a good time. I trust you. But then it's like, hey, GP, I'm going out tonight, and I'm going to the same place Darren Peterson is. Uh-oh, you put yourself in a bad situation. I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
Pick the game.
I've already done it. I can't trust the Dean Smith Center when Darren Peterson is hanging around the bar. But can I trust the Breslin Center? Yes.
Yeah.
Almost, regardless of the circumstances. We're taking Michigan State. We're laying the 1.5.
Arkansas fans, that's what he thinks of Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff Jr., just so you know.
They're not Darren Peterson. They're not. That's all. That is the only thing you can. That's the only thing you can draw from what I just said is that I don't believe Arkansas has Darren Peterson.
Okay. Those are
put
GPs.
Darren, put Darren Peterson on Arkansas. Send him to the Breslin Center. I'll reevaluate that situation.
It's now time for the N1, and then we'll do a quick tour around the weekend at other games. I'll soon reveal what game got sacrificed for UConn versus UMass Lowell. My N1 is tonight, Friday, 6 Eastern on FS1. It's about damn time. Georgetown at Maryland on Lonnie Baxter Court, folks.
Let's go.
Terps are favored by 7.5 points. They lead the all-time series between these two, 38-27. This is a first in a 4-game, 4-year series between the two programs. It was actually supposed to start, I think, a year ago. Cooley wanted to nudge it off another season. Kevin Willard couldn't convince him. Then Kevin Willard said, I'm out of here.
Yes.
Peace out. And so now
he said, Maryland won't give me anything, so I'm leaving. Bye.
So now that's the story that hasn't been told. You want to know the real reason why Kevin Willard left Maryland for Villanova? It's got nothing to do with losing his AD or not being able to stay an extra night in New York City, which he did cite as a reason as speculation increased around that job. It was the fact that Ed Cooley would not start this series in 2024. So now in 2025, it is Buzz Williams going up against Ed Cooley. Again, Terps minus 7.5. Who you got?
Did you see Buzz in his press conference? Going to try to learn all the reporters' names?
I know.
Everything about Buzz makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay the 7.5. I'm going to trust that building. I'm going to trust Buzz Williams.
Is that all you got?
I think Buzz has an NCAA tournament team in year one at Maryland, based in part on resources that Kevin Willard didn't have at his disposal.
Okay, that could be a valid theory. By the way, Josh has been running some polls in the chat, so if you're listening, audience 63-37, Kansas wins straight up on Friday night. Arkansas 71-29, it wins against Michigan State. Not building trust, my people, not building trusters in the chat.
The chat doesn't trust buildings.
71-29 split.
They'll rue the day. The chat will rue the day. You'll learn. You got to trust buildings in this sport.
They're going to rue the day, huh? You've got Buzz and Maryland covering 7.5. I am going to take Georgetown to get inside of that number. I have these teams actually relatively close in my preseason rankings. In fact, let me dial those up right now to give you exactly where they were. Because I think I had Maryland at like 51 or 52. So I have Maryland in my preseason rankings with Buzz. They were sitting at, scrolling down, Terps 51, Georgetown I had at 57. So a 6-spot difference between the two. I do think Maryland wins. I think they're not covering 7.5. This is the first time since 2016 these teams have played, by the way. Back then it was part of the Gavitt games. If you want to remember a dude, the high scorer in that game played for Maryland. His name was Mello Trimble. He had 22 points. It's just great to have just to state the obvious, but we want to reinforce the obvious so that we hopefully don't lose this for the most part. We are getting at least 4 more years of this, but Maryland and Georgetown played each other at least once a year, every year from 1935 to 1980, except when World War II was happening. The series started in 1911. Georgetown has it won by 6 and then 31-25. Maryland has the lead in the all-time series, as I said, 38-27. Look for Pharrell Payne in this game. Could be a big-time player there. And I want to see if Malik Mack can show up for Georgetown, teaming up alongside KJ Lewis. It's going to be a fun game. This is the one that you click on alongside the CBS Sports Network games that we've got tonight in advance of Carolina and Kansas. That should be a good one. That is your final 4-1. Here's a tour throughout the rest of the weekend. We also have VCU versus Utah State in Frisco, Texas. Don't ask me why. That is on Friday night. That's an upper echelon mid-major matchup. It's actually kind of, I don't know, quasi-urgent for the Mountain West. You had Boise State lose to Hawaii Pacific, not Hawaii Atlantic. You had UNLV lose to UT Martin, and you had Fresno State lose to USC Upstate. So the league has already taken some bad losses. See if you can pick off a good one against VCU. On Saturday, I am going to a new spot, GP, and to a new Division I school. I'm going to take my kids. Penn State is playing at the University of New Haven. They're playing the Chargers. The school just joined D1 this season. I guess Penn State football has a game at 3:30. I was told game sold out. It's going to be a madhouse in there. Capacity of the Hazel Center is 1,000 seats, Parrish. Why is a Big Ten team playing a road game against a brand new Division I school in what I am guessing amounts to a high school gym? I actually intend to find that out. I think the ADs have a relationship and that has something to do with it. But what's funny about
They better be married. They better be married. Otherwise,
they're not married. But what is funny about this is that Mike Rhodes, I believe he became the first former VCU coach. Now, maybe this will be changed next year, the year after, but I know this. If you go to VCU and you're the head coach and then you leave, when you agree to become the head coach at VCU, you sign a contract that says, if and when I leave, I have to bring my next team to play at VCU or face like a $500,000 buyout, essentially. I think they've now since upped it to $1 million because Mike Rhodes has not, and I guess will not go back to VCU, but he's going to fly his team into Connecticut. I was also told there's something, what is it? There's a Yale Clean Energy Conference happening this weekend in New Haven. So there are no hotel rooms around New Haven. Like I personally, I'm about 23, 24 minutes away. Okay. There's a Marriott property in my town. I don't know if it couldn't house an entire basketball team or not. Apparently Penn State's going to stay like 45 minutes away. Period. The whole thing is wild, but I kind of love it.
To put all of this to play a game that, to circle back to my point from earlier, shouldn't even be played.
But you know what? High major team, why not? I'm happy to see it. I'm guessing it's going to be more Penn State fans than New Haven fans in the building. I could be wrong about that, but Penn State's a massive school. I assume it's alums in Connecticut are going. I'm going to be there 1 Eastern on Saturday. Take it in and take my boys to the game. Very excited to get to have them see that opportunity.
Go
ahead.
Just let me be clear for a second.
Yeah.
Nothing against New Haven. Congratulations. I just have forever stuck a flag in the ground on Division I is too big. These teams should not be playing each other.
Right.
These teams should not be competing theoretically for the same championship. But congrats to New Haven. I look forward to whatever.
Listen, if you want to destroy the New Haven Chargers, by all means. I did tell them we'd be giving them a bump on the pod in advance of the show, so I'm sure they love it.
I'm happy for New Haven. I just don't think a Big Ten team should be ever playing somebody ranked 360th in the country.
That's my other, not to the rankings, but if anyone out there happens to know this, like when's the last time a Power 5 team, and you can retroactively include the Pac-12, so formerly the Big Six, if you will. When's the last time one of those teams played a true road game at not just a one bid league? I'm talking like at a gym that's this is 1,000 capacity, like 5,000 or fewer, 6,000 or fewer. I'm sure it has happened, but has this happened in the past 25 years? There's probably a random one-off, but this is super duper rare. And so that's above all, that's why I'm going. New Haven actually opens its season today at home against Columbia. Kevin Hovde, the new coach there, they play this afternoon, then they'll turn around 24 hours and they'll welcome in Penn State. Elsewhere around the weekend, just to be aware of, San Francisco at Memphis. Memphis is the only top 100 KenPom team yet to play a game as of our show's taping here. Just 11 teams overall have yet to play a game. Sounds like Penny's gotten around to installing the team's offensive sets in the past week. Exciting news. Intrigued to see how that goes. You got any quick thoughts before I continue, or just leave it there?
Well, he had some interesting comments a few days ago, 3 days in advance of the opener, where he's like, the players who I need to bring effort aren't, and the ones who aren't talented enough to help me. And we just lost 2 exhibitions to SEC teams by 20 plus points, and I've got some real concerns. Just not the type of stuff you want to hear heading into a season opener. Memphis should beat San Francisco this weekend, but San Francisco's good enough to come into FedEx for them, and particularly with the way Memphis showed itself in those 2 exhibitions. We'll see. But if you go look at Memphis' schedule, if they get caught by San Francisco, after that it's Ole Miss on the road. Good luck. After that, you get Josh Pastor coming back to FedEx for them. That should be, we'll see. But then it's Baha Mar opening with Purdue. It could get really sideways on them quickly.
Shasta Rush from the Boneyard, who's always on top of it. He noted that in recent years, the Pac-12 had that initiative where it actually had schools go play road games against SWAC teams. That is your answer to the last time a power conference team would have played in a tiny gym here. A few more games before we wrap up. Virginia Tech versus Providence in the Hall of Fame series in Uncasville here in Connecticut. That's on Saturday. Providence was number 4 in the Big East poll. Virginia Tech was slotted 12th in the ACC. Could be a toss-up game. Also 4 Eastern, Vandy plays at UCF. That's two higher major teams in a road, home road environment. Vandy fans are pumped for their season, rightfully so. UCF isn't expected to be good, so we'll see if the Doors can travel down to Orlando and get out there without getting too caught up, or if UCF can pull off the win. Saturday night, a good one. Oklahoma at Gonzaga. It's the 5th meeting all time between the schools. And all of those meetings have happened since 2007. This game is not in the Kennel. It's at Spokane Arena, which Gonzaga does not play at often. It has won 6 straight in that building. Its last loss came in 2011 to, speak of the devil, Memphis. That was the last time Gonzaga lost at Spokane Arena. And then on Sunday, the game that was in there are 2 games on Sunday that are notable. The game that was in the Final Four and one and that got booted was the Tom Crean special. And I meant to text him. It's on ESPN 1 Eastern, Indiana versus Marquette in Chicago. Is Crean on the call? Like, he should be on the call for this game. He left one school for the other. An intriguing matchup overall. Very excited to see what goes down there. And then 8:30 Eastern on Sunday night, Washington plays at Baylor. Kind of random, but I'm for it. Let's go. Tons of unknowns with both those teams. Just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for that one on Sunday. But I think the pod might be going live before that one tips off. But that is your Sunday to know.
Tom Crean took one of those schools to a Final Four, won outright Big Ten championships, multiple at the other. He did real good work at both of those schools, and I hope those fan bases recognize that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Couple notes here. One, I think we're going to have news happen here in the next 90 minutes pertaining to the NCAA and monitoring game manipulation with players. I don't have the teams yet, but I've gotten word of that recently here. So just keep an eye out on that. That's by the time you listen to the pod, I would think that's going to be out. But just watch CBS Sports HQ. Keep an eye on CBSSports.com. I think there's more coming with that story later today. It's just happened so that we're wrapping the show now, and we won't be able to hit that on real time. Can talk about that on Sunday show. And then, that's pretty much it. I'm heading, I'm traveling on Sunday, so I don't know if I'll be able to be on the show. But if not, you will see me live from Illinois next week. We still got to figure out all the plans with that.
The plan will be to go live around 3:00 Eastern on Sunday. Most of the notable stuff should be done by then. So 3:00 Eastern on Sunday. Norlander traveling, we'll figure that out. But 3:00 Eastern in that range is when we'll be back for the next episode of the Eye on College Basketball podcast.
That's a show.
Did we pick the N1?
Yes, I took Georgetown to cover.
I took Maryland. Got it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And I took Maryland.
Okay. Rusty.
And I took Maryland. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we have. I
was having to pick between Tom Crean and Elvis Presley's alma mater. This is a tough spot for me.
Chat says St. John 60-40 is going to beat Alabama. I don't know if that's covering or winning, by the way. That's a little bit different deal altogether.
Shouts to Devin Downey. Shouts to Chester, South Carolina. Shouts to Terry Teagle. He's a legend. Huck, Larnell. Thank you guys once again for watching and listening to the Eye on College Basketball Podcast. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe anywhere you subscribe to podcasts, Apple, Spotify. There's more of us than there are of them. That needs to be reflected in the comments, so do it. And again, we'll talk to you Sunday, 3:00 Eastern, right in that range. Till then, take care.
The world is a vampire.